You ready? Go ahead.
We're good.
Good. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Bill Kenda, Custer County Board of Commissioners Chairman. And today is Wednesday, March 11th, 2026, and the time is 9 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. And if you would all rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Bow your head for the invocation. Dear Heavenly Father, we once again come before you today to conduct the official business of our wonderful county. We ask that you watch over us and help us make the managerial decisions that are needed to be made today and every day forthcoming. We ask for your guidance, your blessings, and we do this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, roll call, Kelly.
Commissioner Kanda?
Here.
Present.
Commissioner Vogelsong?
Here.
County Attorney Dan Slater?
Here.
BOCC Admin Caitlin. Yeah, Caitlin O'Malley here. And clerk to the board, Kelly Camper present.
Okay, thank you, Kelly,
Thank you.
for everything.
You're welcome.
Okay, audience introductions, and let's start back there.
Hi, good morning, everyone, commissioners and staff. I'm Jeff Lindsay. I'm the district attorney for the 11th Judicial District.
Thank
Here
you.
to present some information to you this morning, and appreciate you getting me on the agenda, and happy to be here.
Yep, you're the lead go here today, in a minute. Chief.
Mike DeLaurentis, Custer County Sheriff's Office. Rich Smith, Custer County Sheriff. John Woods, Custer County IT and GIS.
Brian.
Brian Lockhart, Custer County Landfill. Doug Pollock, Lodge in Senesville. James Gilbert.
Okay, and online, who do we have?
Jeff with Web Design and Rob Klein.
Jeff and Rob. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, have we got any amendments to the agenda? Lucas, you got anything?
Nope, I think it's pretty well lined up with
Okay.
what it needs to be.
No,
I don't have any. Approval of the minutes, February 25th, 2026. I move we accept those minutes. They look fine to me.
I'll second.
Go ahead.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept those minutes of February the 25th. 2026, all in favor, say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Paul?
Both sides.
And aye. Attorney item, well, excuse me, commissioner items. Paul, you got anything to bring up?
Yeah, we had a fair meeting on Monday night. Just let everybody know that we're up and running, everything looks good. We're on target and you'll start seeing some of the improvements to the area over there with paint and everything, make it a little more eye appealing. So it's coming around very good. So we'll have a very good fair coming up. Other than that, look forward to a couple of meetings coming up here, and I'll be briefing you on those at meeting.
Great, good. Lucas?
So the flags are at half staff today. I got them down towards the end of the day yesterday. Governor Polis ordered flags to half staff in honor of Sergeant Benjamin Pennington, who died on March 8th, 2026 during Operation Epic Fury. Sergeant Pennington was assigned to the 1st Space Battalion, 1st Space Brigade in Fort Carson, Colorado. Flags are ordered to fly at half staff on the day of Sergeant Pennington's memorial, which has not yet been announced. Our hearts are with the family and friends of Sergeant Pennington, the brave members of our military and armed forces who put on the uniform and service to our state and country. Our neighbors, friends, and community members. Colorado honors Sergeant Pennington's service and bravery, said Governor Polis, and I think that sentiment is echoed in this community as well.
Amen.
So that's why they're at half staff, and they'll be at half staff till this internment. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Went to Fremont's E911 Authority Board. We have a handshake intergovernmental agreement between our E911 authority and Fremont County's E911 authority. We're looking to formalize that and possibly look at dissolving both authorities and turning it into one authority, but both Brenda Jackson, the attorney for Fremont County's E911, and Dan Slater, ours, is looking into how we dissolve those boards and what needs to happen. It's a lot bigger scale on Fremont counties. We only have 5 or 6 entities. They probably have 24 entities that would all have to agree on that. So we're also looking into an E91 or kind of a E911 or a 911 dispatch center that is it's remote. It's kind of like a PDS. It's a economy of scale, but I think we're gonna, just from looking at it, we could run into the same dispatch problems we are currently dealing with. Are we gonna get priority or not? Are we not gonna get priority? So I think there's some options being talked about, especially since we're talking about moving the E911 authorities under the same hat. So stay tuned. We'll continue to have those discussions. Had a workforce housing finance meeting to go over the first design DOLA grant. Had a CES meeting last week Monday with all the groups from Sheriff's Department to EMS to the fire department, our OEM, and us commissioners. So went through that, had a community service hub collaboration group, and talked about mandatory reporting and just working together better as a team, less silo amongst our different social service entities in the county. Had a talk with Matt Pettit and Baseline about our sidewalk project in front of the courthouse. So I'm cleaning some things up with Baseline, and then I'm gonna having them work on a contract to do the construction management side of things. They're gonna do our bidding. We already have that under contract, but I need to get their construction management services put together. And then had a circle up kind of with the Region 15 opioid group. They gave Custer County $1,000, but it comes with some very specific things. I think Patrick had a good idea of, if we have people that want to go into recovery, they're going to need wage assistance, they might need rent, they might need utilities, they might need childcare. So how do we do very practical things that really benefits this community? I think our citizens want us to do things that are very practical and that they can see that we're helping, we're doing something, instead of money just getting spent on administration things or to grow a program. So I talked with Fremont County commissioners about this as well. So they're kind of doing the same thing. Us 4 counties all got $1,000 a piece, and we're just going out around. So that's where we're at with that. And then last week, Thursday, Friday, sat with a lot of the other commissioners from the other counties to go through all the legislature that is on the Golden Dome's floor. So whether we approved or
You're the lucky,
opposed, I'm the lucky guy.
lucky guy to sit that for us.
So a lot of stuff going on there. A lot of oppose, a lot of bills, but we'll see what happens there. And then the big grant coordination for the last of the federal grants for fire mitigation. And I think we've got a workshop coming up on Monday. It's coming Monday.
Correct.
What time?
Okay,
What's the time?
awesome.
2:30, you should have just gotten an invite.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, just
Thank you. And then tourism board, I went to the fair board with Paul, so he already spoke about it, but had the tourism board yesterday. That board has almost pretty much changed people, have a lot of new members. It's full membership now, so 9 members. after we, do the letters of interest. But the board approved them, and recommended them to us. Lauren, what's Lauren's last name? Austin, I
Yeah.
always forget, I always mix it up with this
Yeah.
and, well, Lauren Austin is now the chair,
That's a great choice.
and,
Very good.
Bianca is vice chair, Bianca Trinker.
Mhm.
And then they didn't want to pick a treasurer or a secretary for now until they get some of these board members kind
Figure out
of
who knows math.
into it, so, yeah. So that's kind of where we're sitting.
When they talk about the fiduciary, at one time they would have a board, fiduciary board. I think we went past that.
So what I need to do and what I've committed to them is, and I've talked to Dan about this, we need to sit down with Dan and I just need to timeline it out. So every new board member knows exactly what to do and where we're at with legislation, and then bring our bylaws up to what current legislation and past legislation since we set those.
Right, because it really has.
Bylaws since 2019.
Opened up a lot of stuff that doesn't sometimes make sense.
Yeah, and then I've recommended to them to start setting workshops and work through all the list of stuff that they have so that their meetings aren't quite so long and get to, because they are volunteer and
How many did they finally end up with now?
a full 9 once we accept these two. So they'll be filled up. So they have a past member with Renee Smith, who used to be a member on there, so,
Good,
and some new people, so.
good.
We
Really good. That
Yep,
it?
that's it.
Okay, besides a lot of those meetings, a couple things I'll bring up is, the most important thing first, the TV tower. Channel 11 and 13 are working, and we've got the repair bill for the trip to straighten that out. John, we still need to probably put filters in that room where the air comes in, because there's dirt getting into some of the computer stuff inside there is part of the problem.
Fine dust.
I'll talk to Matt about that.
Yeah, we gotta get Matt, but I was just letting him know so that IT wise, and we'll get Matt on that.
As well.
And so that's good, and we've got that to deal with. The airport has a new grant that the Department of Aviation did, for the Department of Transportation Aviation Group, which is a airport lighting, which is critical to safety. As you know, this airport's gotten to the point where it is on the national transportation system for the airways. And it has saved lives already, so it's important if something happens at night or at when the visibility is not right. Starting off with runway lights, not sure if we had some donated that are old and we think we can sell those. Looking at two options. One is runway lights are solar standalone kind of things. And work that against other like LED type systems that are connected electronically, as well as the runway end lights, the end indicators, which tell you where the thresholds are, as well as the glide slope indicators that would be for the PAPIs, they call them, that give you the glide slope into it, so you're not running into the cliff or running into the mountain. Going short. Get you on there again, it's short. That's good news. And that grant is a very good grant. It's $450,000, and the airport board has the match money that they've made with the sales of the fuel. No issue on coming to the county right now for any help on that one so far. We'll see. And then we've got what else did I have? Oh, there's 6 miles of road that we share. We grade and we maintain for Fremont County, and they help us on the other 3. So what we are working, and I talked to the sheriff about it, with trying to get jurisdiction to give tickets to each other on those roads, control the traffic, in other words. And found Oak Creek, and it's not Oak Creek, it's Copper Gulch and Reed Road. So, and that'll help because then people blast through there and it's hard to control the speed. They don't quite, we make the roads ride really nice, and then people just go too fast sometimes. And other than that, let's see, John. Why don't you tell us right now, because I want everybody to understand, John's doing amazing work, and he's making the commissioners look bad again. On the phones, and we got a new phone system, and John, and why don't you mention a couple things right now? While we've got a chance.
Going from FirstNet to T-Mobile, that all those devices will be deployed the week of the 30th, which I'm presenting you with a phone policy today and the ability to retain text messages and archive voicemails and things of that nature where we don't currently have in the county for core requests, and I'll be coming up here shortly to speak about that.
More importantly, everybody will have a county phone, which is good.
Well, the people that are listed on the policy.
Right.
I have some other individuals I'd like to get them, we don't have funding for, but I'm working on gathering the funding to get to the point where I'd like to be.
And most importantly, is saving us how many $1,000s compared to what we got now?
Well, switching to T-Mobile saved us, I don't have those numbers, but.
Roughly.
It was several thousand, and then I have some more savings coming that'll also get us to a point where we can retain records, but we've got to we're currently reimbursing individuals $75 a piece.
For our private phones.
Yeah, but I'll be talking about that when I come up to present the
Good.
cell phone policy.
Thanks, that's a big deal. Thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I need to talk about right now. And we'll get into more probably as we go along. So Dan, attorney items, what do you have?
Just that, as Commissioner Epp indicated, Brenda Jackson and I are working on setting up an in-person meeting to hammer through a framework to deal with the E911 issues. And so we should be doing that here in about 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Beyond that, just as a heads up, I'll probably have to step out of the meeting here around 10 o'clock this morning. And then next week I'll be virtual as well.
Okay, you can be out of phone contact the whole day, or will we be able to call you?
Today I'm mostly in the air, so probably not phone contact, but I think I will be online.
Okay.
So if you email me, that's probably the best way to get a hold of me. So.
Okay, perfect. All right, thanks, Dan.
And try just try not to run into big problems that require immediate assistance. That's just a general rule you should follow.
Well, we'll try to keep it simple for you.
Well, the only issue we might have is with the landfill deal. If he's not gonna be able to talk during that,
Let's see, where are you on that?
there's no point in me being here.
Has he seen the contract?
He has.
Well, we can, if there's a comment that's necessary that we don't know now, is it look, you good with what he's commented on?
Well, I sent that email to the engineer, but I mean, I got his email this morning, so there's nothing I can do till I hear back from the engineer.
Okay, so.
Well,
as far as
I responded to Brian and indicated that the commissioners could approve conditionally approve the contract pending attorney review and approval with respect to negotiating the few terms that we do have.
Okay, we got it, thanks. Okay, that would be all for him then. How about Caitlin?
I've scheduled about 4 workshops for you guys.
Really, is that all? Today is all.
But speaking of the airport grant, they're trying to assume in that workshop.
Yeah.
I've not heard back from you 3, but I heard back from the 2 board members on it.
What day, where are they
It
looking?
was the 8th, the next Wednesday.
On what time?
1.
I have no problem with that, you?
No.
You good?
Okay,
Okay, so we're good, thank you.
Yeah.
Put me down, yes.
That's all I got.
Okay, and unfinished business, huh? Anything we haven't carried anything over?
I don't believe so.
No, we covered it.
Okay. New business. Come on up. Sir, Mr. District Attorney.
Good evening.
Right here.
There's Joe from.
Yeah.
Sitting down and talking, the hot seat, at least there's no wires.
You can stand if you'd like, it's okay.
I do.
What's gonna happen? Does he have anything to chart watch?
I don't have anything.
Okay, just speak loud enough. It's getting recorded here and here
Okay.
and people back there, it echoes a little bit, so speak up.
Okay.
Good.
Morning, commissioners, staff. Appreciate you making time, as I said earlier, on your agenda for me today. I'd like to get up, visit all the counties that I represent. Obviously, Custer is an important county for us.
The most important.
The most important. Well, I'm reminded that my third great grandfather settled in Custer County shortly after the Civil War. He was killed in a mine accident, I think in 1890. I want to say 998.
Yeah,
And then the family lived here in the Wet Mountain. Went to school. My dad's mother married a Florence kid, and they settled
that's how you
down.
got the cane.
That's how I got to Canyon City. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. So
Good to
here I
know.
am. I have got relatives buried in at least three of the Custer County Silver Cliff cemeteries. One's a Catholic side, and then my third great grandfather, Civil War veteran, has a Civil War the shield tombstone out there on the first cemetery on the Silver. I don't know what street that is, but
Mill Street.
Mill Street.
yeah, the sheriff took me out there, and when we found his
Find
grave,
it?
found it. Yep, found it, and then further up is
Is it a stone with a shield or?
the Catholic cemetery, and I've got a bunch of relatives, Riley side of the family, buried up there as well. So,
Hey, there you go. It is the most important.
There it is.
yeah, I try to talk my wife into coming up here and getting a place, but
She knows better.
she likes the creature comfort of
Yeah.
more city living, I guess. So
Yeah,
Canyon City was a little bit of a, even for her, a little bit of a stretch. So.
when we get McDonald's, we'll let you know.
Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. You know, and I think what I bring to the table is that understanding of this community. I also, you know, one of the Fremont County Commissioners asked me yesterday, like, how do we lure people, or how do we get people to come to the 11th JD? And, you know, what I said in my, I need to coin this phrase and charge people to use it, but you know, the 11th Judicial District is all the beauty of Colorado without the traffic. And I think that really encapsulates the entire 11th JD, Park, Chaffee, Fremont, and Custer counties, just no traffic. And so that's always something.
We were hoping they would have asked, how come we can't lower the cost for you?
Yeah, well.
It is what it
You
is.
can't have everything. So anyway, and then, you know, on the way up this morning, reminded of the beauty of Custer County, I saw probably 75 head of deer between the different pastures, just beautiful out there grazing amongst the cows and enjoying their morning. And then about halfway up Hardscrabble, bighorn sheep, full, almost of probably 3/4 curl, just out in the middle of the street.
Just one.
Just one.
They come out and pose for tourists all the time.
Yeah.
You gotta
He's
watch.
been there.
Yeah.
about a week now.
Eating the salt out of the middle of the road,
Yeah,
just,
sure.
you know, content as he could be. And, you know, I got near him, I kind of honked my horn like, hey, you know, I got a meeting to get to, so excuse me for a minute. And he stepped aside. So I made it up here safely without damaging any vehicles, so that's a good thing. Couple of things I wanted to talk about before we talked about the triple murders that, I don't know if the commissioners know this, I think the sheriff did. We had a network interruption, is what I'm supposed to say. Happened over the Martin Luther King Day holiday. I was in working on that Monday. We were off, nobody was there, and that's usually when I can get most of my work done, is when other people are around. We were down, completely down for about 3 weeks. We had no computer network, we had no systems, we had nothing. Our computers basically served as large paperweights for the time that we were down. We got pretty nervous knowing that, you know, we had this big trial coming up in February, and fortunately, we had made paper copies of almost the entire file, which fills up an entire bookshelf. And so we were lucky in that aspect. About a week before the trial started, we got back up and are running, although we do have some pretty major housekeeping items we've got to work on. And, you know, that's another day to talk about that. Because we have to give notice to everybody's information that may have been compromised. We have to send that notice out. So that's going to be a separate issue for me later down the road. Was fortunate that I was working that day. I believe that there was the interruption of our network through, inappropriate people. I caught it just because our copier machine started spitting out all these notifications. I called our IT people right away. IT people got on our system and figured out that we had been, had some network interruption. That's what, again, is what I'm supposed to say. So I think we stopped it before it really impacted all of our significant data. There wasn't a lot that they got a hold of, just enough to ruin my next 2.5 weeks. So anyway, that's information I can report to y'all. The other thing I'd say is just recently in the last week or so, we've become fully staffed. We have all of our 11 attorneys, all of our advocates, all of our court staff, and we are now fully staffed. And I think, as a manager, you probably appreciate that. Certainly, I, as a manager, appreciate having a full staff. We were pretty skinny January and into February. We were down 2 attorneys, but we've now made that up. We're completely staffed. Coverage in the 11th JD is not easy. It's not like, somebody's sick and then somebody can just drive, or walk across the street to the courthouse. Every county courthouse is about an hour away from each other, and some are more, from Fairplay to Custer is pretty much considered a half-day drive just because of the distance and encounter. So anyway, we have 2 attorneys in Chaffee, 2 in Park, and then we have our 7 attorneys in Fremont. I recently am taking over the Custer County dockets just because we need to have people, held accountable here, and my docket isn't as huge as some of the other dockets, and so I'm going to be handling the dockets
So
up
you're a
here
point of contact.
in Custer County. Yes, sir. And the sheriff knows that too. We do have a staff member and an advocate that work on Custer County cases, as well as the rest of the dockets that they're covering.
Good.
Then it brings me to the triple murder case that we tried in February. I listen to the Pledge of Allegiance and I hear that last phrase, "and justice for all." That really resonates with me. And it really resonates with me as to justice for all, including the victims, including the suspect, the defendant. He gets justice. He may not like it. Obviously, he got 3 life sentences plus 51 years consecutive. But justice and justice effectuated is exactly what we bring to the table when we stand up and represent the people of the 11th Judicial District. That's, judicial district wide, all of the attorneys, I'm confident in them and their abilities. The case was pretty intense. They're leading up. It's almost 2.5 years before the case finally came to trial. There were lots of ups and downs, and some downs that were pretty difficult to deal with. But at the end of the day, we had a sheriff's office that worked really hard. We have a sheriff here, that saved lives. Impressive, just watching, the sheriff's body worn camera. I got to appreciate what Sheriff Smith did that day, as well as, coroner and the deputy coroner, and also some other members of the sheriff's office.
And the victims.
Yeah. Yeah, listen to that Patty Dalton 911 call. I don't know if you all tuned in or not, but it's hard not to listen to that and have, the hair in the back of your neck kind of stand up and just realize that, she's potentially dying, and she's talking about, praying to the Lord. She's talking about notifying her kids. She's talking about end of life things that just, it's rare that you actually get to experience something like that. It's not something I wish upon anyone to have to go through that, but super.
And she gave pertinent data to.
She did. She identified the suspect. At one point, if you listen to that call closely, she's talking to the dispatcher, and Sheriff Smith is also on the radio at the same time, and she's telling the dispatcher where she is because she can hear Sheriff Smith's radio traffic. It's really pretty cool to listen to. She's like, no, I'm down here. I'm at the end of the driveway, come on down. There's, the rest of us have all been shot and
Mm.
I'm down here. And, just listening to that. And then, the struggle on top of everything else, the struggle, with her husband, is front and center in that dispatch call. And she captured that struggle. You can hear back and forth between the suspect and Jim Dalton. And he actually, at one point, and I pointed this out in my closing argument, said the word handbay, stop. And again, chills, down the back of your neck, hair stands up, all that stuff. But just an amazing situation that I've tried several first degree murder cases and each one is significant. This has got to be up there, in the top 4 or 5 of my career.
I'll bet.
Probably about 30 to 40 first degree murder cases over the course of my career that I've tried or been a part of. So, jury was out on February 19th, about 3 o'clock. A little bit before 5 o'clock on February 19th, we got a call that there was a verdict. It was pretty surprising that it was that fast. And the reason why is there was about 570 exhibits, pictures, videos, dispatch, 911, physical evidence, all the clothing the victims had on, just a ton of evidence. It filled up an entire investigator's room there in our office and in our storage area. And so for a verdict to come in and them not having watched any of the videos, not having listened to any of the 911 calls, I think demonstrates to I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit, the professionalism and the attention to detail that we gave that jury as the way sort of this case all came about.
And how the evidence was collected and.
How it was collected, how it was presented, tested, yeah. They came back, like I said, shortly before 5, they announced their verdict. Court set the sentencing for the very next day, February 20th. What was really cool, and this doesn't happen hardly ever, is about 7 of the jurors actually came back for the sentencing. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. But they were so moved by this case and touched over, what had gone on, that they actually came and attended the sentencing. The 7 of them sat in the jury box where they were. And I just think that shows a lot of, I'm trying to think of a good word here, sympathy, a lot of empathy towards victims' families. And
A lot of understanding, so.
understanding, yeah. And they actually reached out to the victims as, they were leaving the courtroom and, there was a lot of tears. We went through about 16 boxes of Kleenex over the course of the 3 weeks and even before. But again, some brave people that really stood up and presented this case from the witness stand across all aisles. So that's kind of my report to the commissioners, tried to keep it in Custer County, couldn't do that for a lot of other reasons besides media issues. But that whole Oak Creek grade area, even though it spans a couple of counties.
They're all family.
It's all family, it's all a community, they all gather, they have supper clubs, they have house church things that goes on down there, and so it is part and parcel, I think, of Fremont County as much as, the Fremont side is part and parcel of the Custer side, and so I think it was interesting to see, how that community came together. Miss Dalton had probably upwards of 20 people there supporting her from both sides, Fremont and Custer side. She had a job and she cleaned houses for people. And a lot of our clients actually came and supported her, which just speaks to the quality of person that she is. He was sentenced and we have a new trial coming up in April for the sorry. The accessory after the fact, she said in I think the last week of April into the first week of May, that trial set for 2 weeks.
When, where?
It's also in Fremont, so the Fremont County courthouse will house some more jurors and bring them in. And we wound up, based on the sort of the percentages of people that respond to jury summons, wound up subpoenaing about 850 jurors,
Okay,
and about 50% of those people showed up.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, picked a great jury. You know, we had professionals, we had retired people, which is, you know, common to this area to some extent. We had blue collar workers, we had younger people, we had older people. I think it was a really nice cross section of our community that heard this case and rendered the verdict.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry about that. I'll ask, you know, if you all have any questions or anything you want to know from me about this case. You know, it was a tough battle. It was a lot of work. I had my best staff on it just because it's the kind of case that deserves it. You know, my assistant district attorney, Stacy Turner, a really solid attorney. We had our retired Pueblo Police Department homicide detective investigator on the case. You know, he's retired, but he's not like old retired. He's just, you know, did his whatever 25 years and then stepped aside. His father,
Consults now, is that what he does?
yeah, he plays golf. Yeah. His father was at one point chief of police in the Pueblo Police Department. So he grew up as a cop pretty much all of his life. And then I had my office manager, also who's, you know, my top staff and my top advocate on the case, just because it deserved the type of attention that we could give it from all points in the middle as well.
Okay, any questions on, okay, what I'll do is if anybody out here has a question to ask him before we move, I got a couple questions on something.
Sure.
Anybody out here want to ask him anything? Cover it pretty well. Rich, you got anything to add?
I would like to say something.
Here.
You know, it's a horrific case for our community. And I looked at there's a piece of the court records that I'm allowed to look at just because as sheriff, you know, as trials go through the process. This case had 6 different prosecutors assigned to it over 27 months.
Yeah.
And that is not a recipe for success by any stretch. And so Mr. Lindsay and his staff really worked hard to bring this case over the
To
finish.
get it together. That's a good point. Thank you for doing that. Chief, you got anything?
I told this to Mr. Lindsay, but I'd like to publicly again thank him, his staff. His staff overcame a lot of hurdles from everywhere. And the outcome was amazing. I've been in law enforcement almost 50 years now. Never seen a juror return a verdict in 2.5 hours like that. That's an amazing feat. And what the judge sentenced the man to is a credit to his office and the sheriff's department for all the adversity they faced in this case. So thank you publicly again.
Yeah, thank you all for your service from me and the board. Online, any questions there for him? Nothing. Okay. All right, so I want to know, now if you're the district attorney, what's your biggest problem you've got right then? What are you gonna do, or anything that in particular, how it affects us, if anything, other than the budget, you went into that?
Right. I think the biggest issue we're facing right now is that network interruption and how we're gonna handle that. Cause I think I'm gonna have to look towards, you know, maybe some additional staff. Cause we've got to start sending out notices and things like that. You know, it's actually not a bad problem to have. That's the main issue I'm facing. It's not a great thing, but you know, if I was worrying about coverage, that would be more concerning to me. We're covered. We have, you know, lawyers in each of our offices that are capable, that are good attorneys. You know, the most recent hires, we lured somebody out of Sedgwick County, Kansas, Wichita area. Kind of a big area, and she decided that she wanted to enjoy the beauty of Colorado without
The snow and the wind is not like tornadoes out there.
Yeah, she's not in Tornado Alley out there anymore in Wichita. She's a hopefully career prosecutor. I'm super excited to have her on board. We've got a young attorney in Chaffee County, Fairly new, just took the bar exam. So I think things look pretty bright, from my perspective in 11th Judicial. Always having a full staff, just, it helps me sleep at night, believe it or not. And I like that part of the job. Going forward, we have lots of cases. There's a pretty big case up here that was just filed by the sheriff's office that we're prosecuting a sex assault over several victims alleged. That's a case that's going to take priority in my office. And we've got cases, all throughout the judicial district that are also priority. But it's good to have people in the desks, sitting in their chairs, going forward. That just actually really makes me very happy.
Great. Paul, you got any questions?
No, very good, just well done.
No, thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Mal, you can maybe breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so catch up with, all the sleepless nights and, the homicide trials are, you think about them and I don't know what everybody's conception is, but even the victims' families are just like, I didn't know it was this much work. And it is, it's, weeks and weeks before the trial, before you start picking a jury, prepping witnesses, nobody gets to mark all of these 575 exhibits except for us. And that's where my investigator and my staff come on board and we have to organize things and mark things and organize witnesses and prepare witness outlines and meet with them. It's a good 6 weeks before trial of working, 50, 60 hours a week, getting ready for trial. And then in trial, it's, 70 hours. It's from 7 o'clock in the morning until about,
Knowing what they did prior to that to get to.
yeah. Yeah, it's a 7 o'clock to about 9:30, depending on, when I go to bed, time where you're just working pretty much nonstop. The trial takes that much focus, and at least in
Don't
my
want to miss trial.
way. No mistrials and, get the right verdict is always, makes everybody pretty happy. So,
Oh, yeah.
Nothing like the TV show, so.
yeah. How many, what is it? 44 minutes with commercials and,
Right.
yeah, crime,
30.
investigated, solved,
Yeah.
verdict.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and certainly not, good looking individuals from my office or like on TV, where they have
Yeah.
makeup and
Yeah.
scripts and everything like that. It's, it has its
Yeah.
moments where,
They don't know.
One thing they don't tell you is how physically exhausting it is to be in trial. And, people don't think about that. And we're not breaking rocks, but it's, I'm sure the DA has the same experience, but spending even just one day in trial, you get home and you just feel like you've been hit with a ton of bricks. And so a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that takes a lot out of you.
That's true, Dan. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Questions? Done?
No.
Well, you're welcome to stick around and watch this magnificent meeting, or better yet, I would suggest you go get it done in a while.
I got another meeting in Fremont at noon, so I unfortunately need to get down.
All right.
I'll check to make sure the bighorn sheep is out of the road.
Yeah.
He's
Chasing,
usually there.
is he? Okay.
What's impressive, if you can, and you honk a horn and they jump up on a ledge this narrow and run up the side of that
Those
road.
guys, yeah,
So-
those guys
No,
are,
he just moves out.
This guy, he's got the road running.
yeah.
He owns the road.
Well, thank you.
Well, thanks, commissioners. Again, pleasure to be up here.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy the view going down.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you for
much.
doing that. We're gonna have you back a few times,
Okay,
but looking forward to your circuit riding.
okay, that's what it is, circuit.
Circuit. Yeah,
Well,
Thank you.
so much.
Okay, next up. That was good, 20 minutes, that was nice. The Lodge at San Isabel Hotel and a Restaurant liquor license up. Come on up. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Glad you're here. Glad you're opening it up finally. It's got-
Yeah.
We used to have meetings down there once in a while, just to get out and have people.
And the sheriff had been down there and stuff before too, so.
We took our board meeting, this whole meeting down.
Well, there's both, but
Get a room ready for us.
we will do that.
All right.
So Doug turned in applications in January for liquor license. He's been through this, we've done around 2 years ago.
The first liquor license or?
Yeah,
Well, we've been shut down for 2 years, so the first liquor license was,
3 years.
we applied 3 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
And, things happening in life. The liquor license lapsed, and so they're having him start all over again. And he's changed the name, took the name.
Yeah, we changed it LLC.
What's the name?
The lodge at San
Oh,
Isabel
Lodge
LLC
San-
now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I emailed all the paperwork yesterday, he got the paperwork that he
All
needs.
16 pages.
Yes. Actually, I think it was more like 30.
Well, yeah,
8.
that form.
38.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we saw it.
there's a lot of boxes to check and a lot of, yes. And so he's done everything he needed to do. I've got 2 checks here, one for $250 for the, bar fee, and then $1,600 for the state fee. And,
Too bad you had to let it lax. That would have been a lot of dinners that we could have made for us.
Yeah. Well, like Kelly said, unfortunately, there was some life events that happened in between there.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
But
Okay,
yeah, now just happy to be back, working on it, getting things going and being open. We're looking to be open by Mother's Day. If not, maybe a little bit sooner for some trials and stuff.
Yeah.
okay.
so he's just looking for approval so I can get it to the state so that he can get up and going.
Okay, let's have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the Lodge at San Isabel Hotel and Restaurant liquor license.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the application for liquor license. As presented, any other discussion here, questions?
Yeah, and I know I bring this up every time. Where's the samples?
Yeah, could have even brought it.
Approve it without a sample.
Without the sample of the liquor or on the fudge.
Well, any of it.
Any of
At least something.
The little balls is in.
We could really use it right now.
Yeah.
Any questions out here? How about online? Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask Doug, how much snow did you get off last time down there? I didn't get a reporting one.
I was out of town on Friday. I had to go to Denver. So I came up Saturday to plow, cause I could see it on my cameras. When I got up there, it was like 6 to 8 inches, depending on where it was at up there. So it took me a couple hours. I plowed it, got everything.
That's what,
What's that?
it kind of went that way.
Yeah.
I
Moved
wondered.
around and came back over here.
And one other thing about the lodge is that big pothole right before the road goes down to the lake. I am talking with the forestry department because it is their road. And some of the natives down there are saying, how come you're not fixing it again like you did before? And, but I am working with forestry on that.
Yeah, all of those potholes are growing.
He's also working with the people that are at the end of that thing and they volunteered to get out there with Tanby
And help,
and help,
if we could
if we can get
the
some road bait, or not
asphalt
road bait,
repair for that
asphalt.
big one, especially it's the size of a pickup truck bed.
Mm-hmm.
They said they would do the labor.
So if you wanna grab them up and,
Just let you know that we're trying to make that all.
But I have the skid steer there, mine and stuff. So if you guys need help
That would be
with
good.
that sort of stuff, we can do that. And I don't know what we can do before the tractor.
They'll probably
You guys
use
take
it,
the loader out there, yeah.
Winter asphalt patch, so, and it's pretty easy to work with for someone that's not, the Hulk. In order to rake asphalt, but just wanna let you know that, because I haven't been able to talk to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen you for a while,
I've
so.
been down there a couple of times and changed positions a little bit. So,
all right, is there no other questions and issues? I will call for that vote. All in favor of approving the liquor license as presented, say aye. Paul?
Hi.
Lucas? Aye. Kanda, aye. Go to work.
All right.
Be
Well,
there.
thank you, guys.
Thank you
I
very much.
appreciate it.
Nice, thank you. You play basketball or
Good
volleyball?
seeing you.
What's that?
Did you play basketball or volleyball?
I played basketball through junior high school, but mostly it's soccer.
Lost you in high school?
Yeah, they did.
Jeez.
Excuse me, not quite that tall.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thanks, Doug.
I'll text it, then when I get back over.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, Brian, come on up.
Okay.
Oh.
Brian. Come on, Brian.
Glad you're here, Brian.
Mr. Scraper.
Let's start with the, that's really enough. Let's start with them.
Thanking you, Brooklyn. One more.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, I was there. Yeah, so I'm here, mainly, the engineering firm that we are currently using. Was their name was Golder and Associates when I started back in 2020. They since, are now WSP. And the main contact that I have is a guy named Cameron Buell. And, he's been mainly the main engineer for the entire process.
Is he the reason it's been so slow?
No, well, yes and no. So he's the main guy that started it, the expansion and probably even the existing landfill years and years ago. A guy named Van Smith who left, he was the main contact for the expansion. And then Jeff Rush, who's with Burns and McDowell now, he was also the main guy who was dealing with myself when it came to getting the EDOP approved for the expansion. And then also getting all of the CQAs, which is the construction quality assurance plans, reports for all of the expansion trenches and the area fill phases. This map, I'm just gonna give you a brief, this was the last trench, and there's 2 more trenches that are already full. But this is the entire area fill. This was the first phase. So we had to strip all the topsoil off of it. And then we had to build a berm, so all the water that would drain would collect and not go all the way onto virgin ground, okay? So this is phase 1, done. Okay, bring up phase 2, please. If you could. Phase 2, this is that berm that was in that last, slide. And this is the next phase 2 with the berm. You have to have this berm in place before you.
The berms stay, don't they?
No, this
Okay.
berm is now gone.
Okay.
Yeah, the berms are there just to keep the water until your next phase is approved. So this berm could be at the very, very end. We just don't have the manpower or the time to strip it.
Does it matter if it's a mix of topsoil and the?
No.
clay?
It's the berm, you mean?
Berm, just dig it in.
So this is all stripped. And
Not
then
that,
I
I'm
just,
talking about the berms.
no,
There's no criteria on it. Doesn't
No.
matter. Okay.
so this berm, the second or the first berm, we actually took it out. And there's an actual lift of trash that is somewhere along where this berm was. That's why we need to get this approved so we can continue on.
Can keep going.
Because of the area fill, the actual survey and the permit has been approved and the engineering design and operations plan. Well, that's all fine and dandy, but you have to have the construction quality assurance letter from the state saying that you followed the EDOP.
Right.
And that's why I'm having a hard time with the engineering firm WSP to get a hold of them, A, and B, get the next phase CQA done. Jeff Rush, who was with Burns and McDonnell, he reached out to me back in 2023. That's when he left WSP. He sent me an email just asking how things were going. And I recently reached out to him in February, requesting an idea of what it would take to move forward with them for phase 2 CQA, and then also any other consulting things that we may need along our way. Basically moving on from WSB to Burns and McDonnell. With that being said, the contract, which I wasn't sure if Dan was gonna still be on. He had some issues with it, and I sent it back to Jeff, so I haven't heard back from him. But if he's okay, if we sign it and get those addressed later, then that's okay. And I don't have an issue with that. I just wasn't sure if you guys would have any questions as far as Burns and McDonnell. I don't know anything about them except for that Jeff Rush was with WSP, and I've never met him in person, but I've dealt with him over the phone many, many times. He also was the main guy as far as the EDOP, so he's very familiar with the landfill. I don't know. We do have room
in the first phase still, as far as where we can put trash. But it would be good to,
Makes it easier to do when you get the total going.
well, yeah, phase
City
two,
still.
once we get the letter from the state, I mean, we got time to breathe.
Yeah.
And then this summer, we got to strip phase three. So it's always, you know, you're always working, trying to get ahead of,
Why don't we have a motion and then we'll have some discussion on technical pieces of it. You want to move it, Paul?
So all we're doing is, we're just going to approve this.
approve that, meaning that
With
Burns and McDowell can go ahead and continue on to produce the CQA for phase two.
Dan, you want to give us the words?
It needs to be a motion to conditionally approve the contract pending attorney approval of the final version.
Okay, I'll make that motion. I'll make the motion that we go ahead and accept the
Conditionally approved.
condition. There's a
Conditionally approved.
conditionally approve the area field phase two construction quality assurance report, Custer County landfill.
Pending what, Dan?
That's what I was looking for.
Pending attorney approval of the final form.
For the final contract. Yeah.
Depending on the final approval of the contract.
So just to clarify what Brian said, Brian had indicated that we would sign the contract and work it out later. That's not how this would work. We would work out the final version of it and then sign it after we've worked out the final version with the company.
I'll second that.
Right.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept conditionally pending the final contract. So my question is, what's the cost?
It's
17,000.
Get it on the record.
okay,
So that is the cost, and that includes everything in here as far as site visit. And to be honest with you, the last invoice I got from Golders Associates Incorporated was back in October of 2021. And that invoice was for 69,500. And that existed of the EDOP, a training plan, response to the comments from the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment, the post-closure care costs for 2025.
That stuff we already paid.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
But
that's
what I
part of
mean
this.
is, I don't know,
There's more coming.
there's gonna be more coming. I don't know what that is. I don't know the costs comparable to what.
So what do
Burns
they
and
do
McDowell
for that? Do they have to have
So-
some samples taken too and those kinds of things yet?
No.
So we'll need to
everything that-
notify them that we're terminating that agreement as well. I'm sure there's a notice provision in our agreement with
Yeah.
them. So we'll need to
you
do
know,
that.
that's,
And I'm sorry, I have to step off now. I apologize right in the middle of the discussion, but I wanted to get that in before I left.
Okay, that's a good point.
thank you,
too.
Dan.
So it'll be.
well, I understand that. But when do you cancel a contract if you can't get a hold of nobody? We're gonna sit on our thumbs for the next 2 years before we can.
Send a letter. We'll send a letter.
Yeah.
We'll work that.
Certified, and then that's your notice.
That's fine. I'm not gonna do it, but, that's
Well, it
fine.
has to be done and he'll help to. Dan.
Yeah, I'm tired of reaching out to WSP. That's my final stance on that. I'm not gonna do it anymore. This is where I'm at. If we
Okay,
don't
well,
want.
Brian, just get me
No.
the information about who I need to contact and I'll send them a letter terminating our agreement.
Okay.
But we need to do that just so that if there's any more billing or anything in their agreement, that we're not running up another bill with them or something that we have to fight over.
And I should hope, and it shouldn't be as expensive as that first one, because what they know from what the ground was then.
We owe them for the CQA for trench G, trench H, trench I, and phase one, whatever that is. I have no idea. So,
Wasn't that brought up to about 2024 or something like that? We had a report or something.
I talked to Cameron Blue at that time and he said he would get a hold of me and I have not heard back.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
There's from here 2024 or something.
Questions, other questions?
No,
From you, how about you, Paul?
good.
No,
Right.
it's, if we're not getting service out of WSP and we've gotta put trash down, we,
Right.
Well, I'll tell you, it's important because not many counties have a landfill anymore. We're lucky to have it because it's awful expensive hauling it to Colorado Springs or wherever we'd have to haul.
Yeah, it's convenient.
Good job. Thank you, Brian.
Okay, no problem.
Any other questions online, anything from anybody? Okay, then I'll call for the vote on that motion as presented. All in favor, say aye. Paul.
Aye.
Lucas.
Aye.
Kanda, aye.
Thank
Go
you,
for it.
Ryan.
Okay. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, cell phone policy,
Yeah, it's very good.
resolution 2617, cell phone policy. Hey, John, fancy meeting you here.
Yes.
Well, as has previously been discussed, we had approval to go from FirstNet to T-Mobile. With that, I am wanting to get a cell phone policy in place before we get the devices. Part of that, I can go through and explain, and just read if that's
That's okay. Go for it.
okay. So the purposes of this policy is to establish guidelines for the issuance, use, and management of county-owned cellular phones and mobile devices provided to the county employees of Custer County, Colorado. County-issued mobile devices are intended to support official county business and improve communications and operational efficiency. County-owned devices. Custer County may issue a county-owned cellular phone mobile device to employees when job duties require reliable mobile communications. All county business that requires mobile communication must be conducted on county-issued devices. Employees shall not conduct county business using personal cell phones unless explicitly authorized by the Board of County Commissioners. Number 3, discussion of personal phone reimbursement or discontinuation of personal phone reimbursement. Custer County will no longer reimburse employees for the use of personal cell phones for county business. All official county communications must occur through county-issued devices when a mobile phone is required for work duties. We currently have 10 phones that we do reimbursement for a cost of $75. I'll get into that a little more. Device number 4, device request and approval. All requests for new county issued cell phones or mobile devices must be submitted through the Custer County Information Technology IT Department. Departments requesting a device must provide documentation demonstrating proof of available funding for the device and any associated service costs prior to approval. The IT department will review all requests to ensure technical capability, security requirements, and operational necessity are met. After completing this review, the IT department will forward the request to the Board of County Commissioners for consideration. No county cell phone or mobile device will be purchased, issued, or activated until final approval has been granted by the Board of County Commissioners. Number 5, device ownership. All mobile phones, accessory phone numbers, applications, and data associated with county-issued devices remain the property of Custer County, Colorado. Employees must return the device and all associated implement accessories immediately upon termination of employment, change of position where phone is no longer required, or at the request of the county. Number 6, employee responsibility for the phone. Employees issued a county cell phone are responsible for the proper care and use of the device. If an employee intentionally damages, misuses, or negligently breaks the device, the employee will be financially responsible for repair or replacement of the device. Normal wear and manufacturer defects are not considered employee responsibility. Lost or damaged devices must be reported to the employee's supervisor immediately. Number 7, application management. Applications installed on county-issued devices will be controlled and managed by Custer County. Employees must not install or remove applications unless authorized by the county's IT administration or designated authority, which would be our contract IT services with PDS. The county reserves the right to install, repair applications, remove unauthorized applications, restrict certain device functions, and manage device security settings. Number 8, monitoring of public records. Use of county issued devices may be monitored. Text messages, call logs, voicemails, emails, and other electronic communications may be archived and retained by the county. These records may be subject to disclosure under the Colorado Open Records Act, CORA, or other applicable laws. Employees should have no expectation of privacy when using county issued devices for communication. Acceptable use, number 9. County issued cell phones are intended primarily for county business. Limited personal use may be permitted as long as it does not interfere with work responsibilities, does not incur additional costs to the county, and does not violate any county policy or law. Use of county devices for illegal, inappropriate, or unethical activities is strictly prohibited. Number 10, security requirements. Employees must protect the device with a passcode or security lock. Must protect the device with passcode or security lock, not share access credentials, immediately report lost or stolen device, and comply with county IT security requirements. Number 11, policy violations. Failure to comply with this policy will result in disciplinary action, including revocation of device privileges, financial responsibility for damage, or other associated or other actions consistent with county personnel policy. I've also included before I issue any of the new devices, if this is approved, to where both the employee and the director has to sign off and acknowledge that the device has been received. With that, it would allow me the ability to implement a software called Smarsh. Smarsh is what would then archive the emails or the text messages, the voicemails and things of that nature, to where if we do get a Colorado Open Records request right now.
Easier to get.
Yes, and we are out of compliance with the Core Request Act. This would bring us into compliance going forward. The cost of this, the 10 employees right now, we spend $750 a month at a cost of $9,000 annually. Going to where those 10 individuals get issued a device would bring us from $750 to $437.80 a month, or an annual cost of $5,253.60. That would give us a monthly savings of $312. The devices individually would cost $5 for the Smarsh, which would be a total of $255 a month and an annual cost of $3,000. So this would bring us overall a net impact of $57.20 monthly savings, or an annual savings of $686.40. So not only will we save a little bit of money, but we would be able to get, it would improve our cybersecurity, retention, and then the devices we would have maintained.
Easier to report.
Yes, sir.
That would take care of not using personal phones first. They got to be subpoenaed to get it because.
For the people that we currently have funding for, I'm working on funding to where I would like to see every elected official, department head. But we don't, I'm just trying to meet what we had in this year's budget.
Yeah.
Without exceeding and trying to put a burden on departments that did not have that in their budget.
Okay, but before you ask any question, I will move that we adopt resolution 2617, which is a resolution of Custer County, Colorado, establishing a cell phone and mobile device policy as an information IT policy. And it goes on to state that this will happen, as we pointed out, and appropriate county staff be directed to describe, as described in the IT policies. So I would move to do that, so we can discuss it.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the policy as we talked about. So I got a couple quick questions.
Yes, sir.
And then the others, and then we'll open it up for other questions. Just real quick, since you brought up Smarsh, is that an app?
It's not an app. It's a program that would be installed and it would come directly with the phone bill from T-Mobile.
Okay,
So when the devices arrive, it would already be installed on the device.
is it something that needs to be updated periodically?
If there's updates that happen, they would happen automatically or would
Or
be.
through our
with-
IT?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So the user doesn't have to fool around with it.
Correct.
Okay, and another question I had was pretty simple, a couple simple questions. When do we start?
So this would, if we adopt this today, then I will be coming back next week to get approval to amend the T-Mobile contract and add the $5 per device, and I will have an updated contract that includes that $5 per device to be reviewed next week. And then if that gets adopted, the devices will be on site the last week of this month, and we will be deploying them. That then I will be canceling the current AT&T the devices with AT&T, and then that will implement the savings
Okay,
going to T-Mobile.
could that help? Number two, are we loading it to be capable of the Microsoft conversion we're doing? Or are we doing Gmail and then doing it again?
No, the Microsoft conversion, Heather's team with PDS will be on site next week. We will be fully onto Microsoft next week.
Okay,
And then part of that also will be part of the endpoint management of the phones.
Okay.
And we'll be able to control the apps and everything with the Microsoft licenses without having to spend additional funding on other software or
okay.
applications to manage that.
That's
Yes,
good.
yes, sir.
Okay, last question, others, what's it gonna cost? Whose budget is it? We have the budget for it and.
This is all budget money that has already previously been budgeted for cell phones. We're actually gonna come in under budget.
Okay, so we're not gonna reach to anybody else, and okay.
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
That clarifies. Louis, you got any?
No, I think this is a long way coming and we have been, not within our core requesting capabilities, so.
It'll help a bunch.
This will help a lot with that. It'll get it, so these phones are managed by PDS, and we can, it'll just bring this umbrella under one roof. And John and I have talked about the commissioners at the beginning of every year approving these are the amount of cell phones that we have, or doing it right before budget season or whatnot.
And then during the year, things come and go, people
Yeah.
come and go, we'd have to take a look at that and put it on a meeting.
We've had a lack of monitoring, and we have just continued to add, and without saving here, or hey, does this person still use this phone or phone line or software or whatnot? So
Right,
Going through, I identified 9 numbers that we've been paying for and nobody was using.
yeah, that's the other.
Some of them, one of them in particular, I believe went back to 2020 that we've just paid for.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Paul, you got it?
I have two things. One, this increases, control and accountability. That's one nice thing about it. My one question is, does the system also include additional, hacking or?
Yeah, with this, then with the Microsoft licenses, if we adopt this, cybersecurity goes on to the endpoint and we get full. Where we're meeting cybersecurity now on our mobile, our tablets and our computers. We'll be bringing that same cybersecurity to our phones.
Yeah, you're doing.
Iron Dome of the phone.
I'm trying to pull us into this century, into our current age. we've ignored some things in the past, partially due to finances and partially just because it was easy. I have been working very hard and I must say thank you. This has been one of the highlights of my life, being able to serve my community.
Great.
One more question, when we go down the hill, we take our county phone with us, does it follows us, correct? It goes wherever we go?
Yes, sir. And with the T-Mobile device, everybody that gets one will have text over Starlink. So anywhere you're at in the world, you will have real-time communications, at least via text message. So you're stuck in a snowdrift, you hit a deer, have a heart attack, whatever the case may be, there is an emergency, away in an emergency. Yep, we send the ladies out from planning and zoning, they have a flat tire. DHS has something on site right now, they get into areas they have no communication. This, just going to T-Mobile alone is going to give them that communication.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's very cool. I got one quick and I'll ask the public. These phones, are they gonna have plastic covers on the?
They all come with a protective case, screen protector, and a charging
In
block.
the case that's rubberized or something?
It's
So
just like
road and bridge boys are gonna be dropping.
just like the
So
one
will I.
you see is what it comes with.
Okay, that's great.
So
Okay, thank you. All right, any other questions? Jim, you got one?
Yeah. Okay, the county phones used for county business and the employee should have no expectation of privacy, which is also applicable to the person on the other end. So,
Right.
so.
if people are texting county phones, yes, that
Yeah,
information would
somebody
get
texts
archived.
me, then anything I reply.
If it comes to the county phone, yes, that
Right.
the one that message
Yeah.
sent in would get archived, yes, sir.
Okay, so I see that as a potential issue with candid conversations between myself and my representative, for instance. So that would be something.
But with that, if the court request came through, everything would go in front of Dan, and if there were things that needed redacted, for instance, they would get handled. My suggestion then, even if you send emails right now, all of that is court requestable. If there's things that people wish to remain private, they should have private conversations.
Right, that's what my point would be. I would say, oh, call me on your personal phone.
That would be up to the
Yeah,
individual.
it just strikes me as something people need to be aware of.
Yes, sir. That's why
They should be aware and they need to see this policy.
Which is the other reason I want individuals to sign this to where they're aware that.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about
The public.
The general public, yes, sir.
the general public is not gonna be aware that when they talk to somebody in the county clerk's office, if they happen to say something. Because they know that person, they say something rude, that is.
And with Cora, this is already an existing.
Wait, so you call me, that is different than if you text me.
Yes, sir.
Phone conversations have to be subpoenaed through.
There will be no archive of the personal conversation on the phone. This is just for the digital record of the text.
Thinking anything that went through the phone.
Just
No,
like now, you called me on my house.
No, if you on the phone had a conversation through voice, that is not recorded. That is still a private conversation.
Okay, thanks for the clarification.
Yes, sir.
It sounded like everything was gonna go into big.
Why don't you put that in a print in that policy?
We would need to adopt this and then we could add that in. If we can amend as we go forward.
Sure.
Good job.
Any other public comment online? Okay, therefore, hearing none, I call for the vote on adopting resolution 2617. All in favor? Aye. Paul?
Hi.
Lucas?
Aye.
Panda, aye.
Can I make one comment after your vote, sir?
You sure you didn't want to make it during the vote?
So before the vote?
Okay, you sure can.
Because it didn't have to do with the resolution.
Oh,
I just want to give kudos to John
yeah,
and the job that he's doing and the changes that he's making, even though he's been a huge pain in the.
Yeah,
You know
he
what?
sure messes everything up.
He messes everything up, but in the end, it's working out.
Thank you.
And,
That's great.
and he's done a great job,
Being
and
there.
he's trying to save the county money in a lot of places, and
Or,
Bring
yes,
us up to
it's
speed
working.
there.
Yeah.
So, well, kudos.
And eventually he'll have all the changes done, and then we'll be good, and then we'll be ready for updates.
yeah, fix it now.
I appreciate it, thank you. And I reiterate, it's been my pleasure. This has been my favorite job so far I've ever had. Serving the community is worth the loss in pay that I took personally to take the job.
Okay, so did we so
That's good. We did.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you all.
We were over. Thank you, John.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is resolution 2618 budget amendment.
Oh, he's there. I didn't see him.
Yeah, he lurks in the back.
He lurks. He's a little goofy alert.
I know. He's not it. Not that guy. Okay, go ahead, Vernon. Bring it up.
Good morning. We are here discussing resolution 26-18. Appropriation of additional sums of money for this relates to a grant obtained by the Attainable Housing. We will need to appropriate $50,000 for expenditures for Attainable Housing Professional Services. And this relates to a DOLA pre-development grant pursued by the Attainable Housing Group.
You want to talk about that's
So this is a DOLA grant. This is for the this is to get the 12 lots in Silver Cliff basically shovel ready. This is the engineering, or I mean, this is some of the engineering and design that needs to be done up front. This is the environmental survey on the ground. This is for site surveying. So bunch of little different things in here that has to be done for to go into development. So the grant was for 50,000. 92% of what we spend on those lots can be put towards this. The other 8% is because we'd like to do an in-home childcare facility, or at least allow somebody that rents that one spot there to do a childcare facility in home if they choose. And so we can't put that towards this grant, but the other 11 lots we can, so they'll let us do 92% of all the costs. So,
and we've been preparing for that all along.
Yeah.
Out of other monies.
Yeah.
So we have the money.
so we have the money. Yeah, this is just front loading it and then it'll be reimbursed to us.
One question, when that grant does come in, is it each line item individually, or is it just like the blanket for if we had to do more money into one area, or is it defined how much of that gets in there percentage wise or dollar?
It's, we put a budget forth, they approve that budget for that grant, and then
Okay.
it is what that.
Make sure it would just.
In our county, in our chart of accounts, we've allocated this for professional services. We already have a little bit of money in basic attainable housing pursuits, but this is specifically related to professional services. After I reviewed all of the work that was going to be done and paid for under this specific fund set of funding, professional services is the place for it.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you.
I'll move to adopt resolution 2618, the budget amendment for attainable housing pre-development grant.
We've been seconded to adopt resolution 2618. So I got a quick question. Who's the project manager for? Who manages this?
Very keen is,
And so he'll be allocating the money for us as needed.
he'll turn it in.
Requesting.
He'll turn it in to us and we'll request.
And then if it requires an additional look with the board, he'll bring it to you, you'll bring it.
Exactly right.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yep.
The process, because we're getting together on all things like that. So we're coming together, it's good. Any other questions here?
No, we're good.
Out here in the world, any questions?
It's a point of clarification.
Go ahead, Jim.
So this is a joint effort between Silver Cliff and the county.
Right now, it is only Custer County. This part of it.
Okay, so ultimately it'll be Silver Cliff.
Yes, it will,
It's in
because
Silver
it's in Silver Cliff, yeah, so,
Because.
We're help. Right,
yeah.
that's correct. We took our lots, gave them.
Well, we haven't given these up yet.
No,
Yeah.
they're still under us.
The 7 that we gave to UACOG,
Yeah,
of course, are UACOG's now to put self-help housing in.
yes, good point. Any online? Okay, then I'll call for the vote on adopting resolution 2618. All in favor, say aye. Paul?
Aye.
Lucas?
Aye.
Kanda, aye. Go for it, Vernon. Thank you for bringing it in.
Vernon.
Thank you, Vernon.
This one isn't it?
Okay. Okay, this is your call. Go ahead. This is the consent agenda item. Department of Human Services Policies. Is Vicky online?
She is not. She called me late last night. They had a bunch of referrals for APS and child welfare, so she was not. I told her,
Yeah.
I told her deal with that. That comes first. If we had major questions on this, state has already approved these 14 Department of Human Services policies. So it's just us formalizing that the state has approved those.
It's passed, so basically.
And these are what she has to abide by.
Okay, read them out, Paul, just so everybody can hear them. You had it?
It's on the agenda.
It's on the agenda.
Oh, it's not the agenda.
Well, just get them out there and speak loudly.
Speak loud. All right, yeah, I'll find it on here, so I've read
Down
it.
below, just the first bullet that said contract monitoring.
Yeah, I'll go way up there, okay, so about that. Contract money assist verification program as abbreviated by AVP procurement policy. And accounting and fiscal control plan, financial compliance for AP 5615 forms. Dispute resolution. State fair hearings, medical assistance and eligibility span.
Span,
Span.
span.
Span. Yeah. Error reporting policy, procedures, program, integrity for medical assistance. Non-discriminatory notice. Access to interpret services, safeguards for storage and transmission of PHI. That's in email encryption, county created client communications. Quality assurance and control plan, vehicle use policy and guide.
Those are the items that
Those
are.
are the items that
Or
Yeah,
consenting to this resolution.
right.
Okay, any other points on that?
No, what we will need to start doing is we'll need to start seeing what of our own county policies are, need to maybe come into alignment with some of these and look at those. So, we'll start going through those and start seeing what might be different and what we might need to bring into alignment with this, what we might garner as good things from some of these
Like the IT
policies.
So it's just expanding those, just giving more information about each line item.
Okay. All right, so therefore,
I'll make a motion to adopt or to accept the consent agenda, which adopts 14 Department of Human Services policies.
I'll second that. Okay, any other comments here? I don't have any. Jim? Anything that
Looks wonderful.
Good. Anything else? Okay, therefore, I'll call for that vote. All in favor of adopting or accepting the consent agenda as read, stated. All say aye. Lucas?
Aye.
Luke, Paul?
Aye.
Kenda, aye.
Very good.
Okay, that gets us to the last item. County tourism letters of interest.
We had 2 letters of interest, one from Keely Smith and one from Melissa. I'm not sure how you pronounce her last name.
Listen,
But Melissa is the owner of the West Cliff Inn, Inn and Suites. Keely Smith has an agricultural background and has several different small businesses. And she's also a broker associate. So both of them put in letters to the tourism board, and the tourism board accepted those letters of interest and accepted them to be board members. So all we need is for the.
okay, and I move that we accept these two applications to be tourism board. Got a second?
I'll second.
If they move and seconded, accept them. I think they're high quality.
Those are good. Yeah.
Good job. Any other points?
No, I think having 9 board members and a lot of new board members and a wide variety of different businesses and
Perspective,
you know, from lodging to some agricultural to just a shop owners. I think will bring a bit of a refreshment to
that's
the
true. That's true.
Spark proof.
Agree. Okay. Anything online? Jim, you got any questions? Good. All right. So therefore I'll call for that vote. All in favor. All right, everyone. Accepting those letters of interest, say aye. Lucas.
Aye.
Paul.
Hold on.
Kanda, aye. Okay, items of interest here. I got one that I want to bring up. Had a good meeting with the Lutheran Rainbow Trail Camp, right, out within Divide. If you recall, we accepted their application to move the lines of their center up there. And it crosses the county line into Fremont County, which we are taking that land as Custer County. So we're going to change the boundary of Custer County, and it's going to go up around the new land that we swapped for land over on Lock Mountain of equal acreage. And they wanted to meet because they wanted to make sure that they believe that they have a strategic plan. They're updating the plan for the camp and want to make sure it's in line with what we got. They got that plan to look at. They're going to give us hard copies of colored. And they really wanted to get a leg up because they're looking to start and complete the process, given that they've got to go first through hearings with the state forest or the national forest. And then that's a long time for whatever reason. Not a lot of bureaucracy. There are no button up against it. There's no personal interest impacting any citizen. And that's the same on our side, but our side will be a little quicker because we don't have to push it through the bureaucracy of the federal government to get it approved. And so we will be looking to see that hearing with planning and zoning coming up as we adopt the new boundaries. And so that'll come up later. So we'll be seeing those soon. And that was a great meeting. That group, let's see what else, master plan, public comment, of course, I mentioned Custer County. And then we'll get John, I told him to come in and met with John, our GIS guy, they got heads up on that. And then I had a meet with Delana to get the survey, we're letting them know that there's going to be a survey coming, and they got a survey that's going to be made so we'll know the exact boundaries for us to change, and then that'll all be done in time for us to vote on it later. So that'll come up. The reason I'm bringing it up because we'll see it at some point here soon, not too soon, but over the next 6 weeks or something.
Okay. I got a few items.
Okay, go ahead.
Tourism has a new website just rolled out. And we're trying to make everything more mobile friendly because it appears that everybody is spending more time on their mobile phones.
That's true.
So trying to do that, but it did roll out. Also wanted to mention that my son Zathan went in and helped John on Friday from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, just reset a bunch of the old laptops. So we can decide what we can keep or what's not updatable or what might be junk or what we can take parts from. And then John's gonna bring to us, here's what we got left. What do we want to do with it? Do we want to go to the school, to the library? Do we want to put it out there for the community and auction them off? What do we want to do with these older devices?
Tax exempt form for your taxes for the labor that he did.
I don't know. It'd be on his taxes. Or maybe it'd be on mine. All I wanted to say is that he's not getting paid. He's just volunteering his time to John, so. But I wanted to make that public. Also, I'm supposed to have a meeting with, Delana and Carrie, one of the gals who's doing the scanning in, about maybe when she is kind of got to a point where they're done, about taking on, she's been in HR stuff before, about taking on all of our HR files that are in boxes all over and getting those organized and digitized and get ready for a shredding service by the end of the year, sometime in the summer, sometime like that between elections. That we can start getting rid of old files that we don't need to keep and that are past the archives, the state archives, statute of limitation of keeping files, so to speak, retention policy. So I need to have that conversation with her and see what her availability is, because it'd be nice to clean up those HR files and get those stored appropriately. So
Probably a bunch of finance files too.
yeah, that's the next thing I think we'll tackle after the HR files are over is digitizing, organizing, digitizing, and then going through past boards, E911 board.
Yeah.
And that may come a mute point with those old E911 files, but just digitizing them and getting rid of the paper copies. So
Sure.
That it?
that's
Paul, anything to add?
Nothing new except for general. I mentioned it way back when, a month or so ago, we had 31 years of work at the landfill to do. And that has been made on time and everything, and kudos.
Never got them. They didn't understand.
Yeah, we've never filed it, and we had 31 years of reports to do, and that was done about the third or fourth day of February instead of the 12th. So.
Okay.
Good.
But it's done deal.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Any business things here, Kellen?
Oh, just to say on because methane gas and that methane gas bill that's at the Golden Dome, Chaffee County and some other counties are just on the cusp of just being just big enough that they are gonna have to do some collections. And, you know, they're talking about 3 to 10 million, $15 million projects, and they're like, we can barely afford to keep it, you know, it just barely takes care of itself like ours does.
Right.
How do we do this? So ours is below that threshold for our citizens. Ours is small enough, it doesn't meet the threshold to have
Right.
that, collect and then scrub it. So
Yeah.
Things that all governed by the EPA, so.
yeah, well, it's Colorado's. I mean, Colorado follows
I mean, they
the
just
national. So
approved it.
I do have a question.
yeah.
E911.
Mhm.
Some reason I get a lot of E911 emails and questions and calls. And
Like what kind?
So like,
most of them wanna know, have you gone up? And then there was a lady that called the other day and she was upset because your E911 fee went
Oh.
up, nobody notified us, and
You have no
I
control
don't,
on that.
yeah, and I don't know if it went up, if it went down, if it.
all of
And
the,
so I've been sending them your way because Sam doesn't seem to answer any emails.
Mhm.
So is that okay to send them your
Send
way?
them
Do I
Buck.
send them, I don't have any contact information for Buck, so I don't know what to do with those people.
just keep sending it to me and I'll keep forwarding it to Samantha, and then I answer some that I can, but then once you answer 3 questions, then they've got 30.
Then they've
Yeah.
got 30.
And it's like, we went up, this is the date we went up, that's all you need to know, start collecting the fees.
Yeah.
Right.
So it did go up.
It did go up. They went up to
Whatever.
from 175 to 212, if I remember correctly, 218, somewhere in there.
And who makes that decision? Is that
The E911 Authority Board. Yeah.
And I got calls from somebody in Virginia or somewhere always wanting to know what our fees, do you remember that? Seeing those,
Yeah.
and that's some lawyer deal, but I'm not sure why, but he was obligated to gather up this information from all the counties.
So the commissioners have been talking with CCI about a bill to limit all of those core requests we get for large stacks of information. Because all the counties are getting these core requests from all these different organizations that are trying to put all this information together. And it bogs down our systems, especially the small counties that just are already a little overwhelmed. So
That's for sure.
that one a lot of commissioners are all for as well, because it needs to kind of stop. But yeah, so 212 or whatever we set it at is the max we can go without going to the Utilities Commission. So
Okay.
and we'd have to be bigger, a bigger entity to go to get. So
Okay, any other comments online, public? Nothing? Okay, therefore, at what time?
10:40.
At 10:40.